You go to a place like Colombia. Colombia is a mix of, you know, colonial Spanish and indigenous. You'll see a wide disparity between the cities and the provinces and the villages. You go to a country like Argentina, and Argentina is very, very European. It's almost like being in Europe. And then you go to a country like Colombia or Bolivia. Bolivia is interesting. Bolivia is like traveling back in time 150 years. It doesn't look like the rest of South America. And it's fascinating in one continent about the size of the North American continent, Canada, Mexico, the US. You have such a wide disparity. You have countries that are at the forefront of what we call the Western civilization, and countries that are still holding on to their roots and their ties. And it's fascinating just to see that in a short span of a flight. You wouldn't see that in Western Europe anymore, or North America, but you can still see that in South America. One of the things Baird was mentioning, Mr. Nielsen, is travel. It's very, very easy to travel in Central America. In South America, there's a trail, there's a backpacker trail. You get on the road, you can see Central America in just a few weeks. I know some of you have traveled there. I would recommend, take a gap year once you graduate high school or graduate college or in the middle of college. Go and travel for a while. Take advantage of all of your spring breaks and summer breaks to go travel. It's an incredible thing. You learn more while you're traveling than you would in any other setting in life, even more so in school. Builds your language skills, builds your cultural skills, financial skills, sort of your own confidence as a human in the world. I think travel is one of those things that's very, very good for the resume these days. It's good for college applications. It shows that you've seen more than your little bubble in the world, whether it's your bubble here in San Jose or your community or just who you associate with. You see a different side of the world. It sort of resets your mind. And that's sort of a general approach to what we think it is to be a global citizen. In terms of human rights, let's maybe see what you guys have to ask about that. Sort of immigration issues in the U.S. or South America, or Latin America, anywhere in the world. I mean, today with our new president, we're seeing a huge erosion of human rights, particularly in the United States, outside the United States, and people who are trying to flee their lives and come to the United States. So it's an interesting era. I'd be curious to see what you guys think, if you have any thoughts or questions on what's going on. Yeah?
So regarding immigration policies, how do they differ in countries in South America? If someone were to say from Syria want to immigrate to Argentina or Peru or somewhere in South America, how would it be different than someone from Syria trying to come to the US?
That's an awesome question, and actually that's really relevant today because I was just reading that Argentina has changed their immigration policy as of a few weeks ago, to the point where their immigration policy is even more restricted than ours. A country like Argentina, right in the middle of South America, has borders with a couple different countries, right? They're big borders. Bolivians go to Argentina frequently to work as common laborers. And so Argentina has shut down their borders to that. But in terms of refugees, which is what our problem is today, those countries Argentina and Brazil at least, have a more open policy towards refugees. They don't bring in as many as we do because they don't feel like they can support that. But you'll see that all the countries in South America have sort of restrictionist policies to their neighbors. So Chile won't let in Peruvians. Argentina won't let in Bolivians. Brazil won't let in the French Guiana countries up in the north. So it is an interesting way to see how each country targets maybe their less economically developed neighbor.
But in terms of refugees, they're almost more accepting than
the
US.
Countries that are wealthier, Argentina and Brazil, are a little more accepting. But it's been quiet. You don't hear as much. You don't hear as much about Latin American countries taking refugees. In the era during World War II and after World War II, you did see a lot of that. A lot of a lot of people fleeing the Holocaust or the war went to Argentina and Brazil. So that was a time when probably they were more accepting. Today, you're not seeing a whole lot about it. Good question.
Okay, so we got the first awkward question out of the way. Now, I know everybody has at least 4 questions, so raise those hands. Ali is
I love
just such a
hearing your
great-
questions and interesting ideas. What are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen to human rights with our new president?
How are our immigration policies affecting those in other countries that are here?
It's a good question. Normally the U.S. has a 2-part immigration system. You either come here to work, to go to school and work, or you come here because you have family ties. So this is how our immigration system is built. Most countries have an immigration system where it's just so that you can come study and work. They don't have family-based immigration. Most of the Western countries. So our policy is, if your family's here, we want families to be together, united. So we allow that family-based. In today's world, with the political parties looking at how can we be more economically advanced, or how can we focus on what makes America great, they're looking at how do we have more people come in to work? How do we get the best, strongest people? But at the same time, there's a balance against how do we protect jobs for Americans who are already here. So we restrict it. Our policy is one of the hardest in the world. It's one of the hardest countries to get into. If you apply to come to the United States, it's going to take you at least 6-7 months for that process. So we already have a very rigorous standard. So it's interesting when you hear government political parties talk about, it's so easy to come to America. It's as if you can buy a ticket on Southwest and just fly to the US. It's really not like that. It's super difficult. So in light of that, do we make it harder? Do we make it easier? What do you think?
I think it's more harder than it seems. Like, it's very selective and very, it feels like it's almost like the
Right. What do you mean when you say selective?
like, it's just the criteria and like reasoning for certain things to happen
Mhm.
and just letting certain people in versus not letting others in.
Sure.
The reasoning why it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, is it right?
Exactly. And then that's the debate today. Is it right? Should we let more people in, or should we try to protect jobs for who we have? Something like 150,000 doctors in the United States are from these 7 countries that the president has banned from traveling. So you'll see it's a very highly educated group of people often who are coming in from these 7 countries that are at question right now. We're not preventing terrorism. If terrorism is going to be a constant issue in the future. The terrorists in most recent attacks did not come from these countries. I don't think any of these countries had clear terrorist roots. But that's the argument we have today. Safety and American jobs. Whether it's valid, I don't know. It does seem like it's unnecessarily selective, right? Good one. Who else? Yeah.
When it comes to like the refugees and safety matter, I know that there's some analysis in terms of how, like our rejecting refugees means that there's more kind of just like hatred and tension in areas where terrorism has a stronghold, and those terrorist strongholds use that type of hatred and tension to grow and say like the West hates you to like the people who are trying to flee, and it ends up growing in terrorism. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a good question too. Does our restricting, let me see if I can restate it. Does our restricting refugees and creating these bans promote sort of a hatred of the United States? It's possible. It's possible. It's something that can be used for propaganda purposes, right? A lot of these countries will do that. We have a tense relationship with Iraq, and the Iraqi people. And so they see that. They see that, you know, this country doesn't want any of our people to come, any of our refugees. Why do they hate us? Why do Americans not like us? And Americans don't have a particular hatred, right, for these people. It's our government. Letting refugees in is always a good thing. One, because we're required to by international law. The Geneva Conventions say that all countries who've signed on have to let in refugees. It's part of our moral duty as a human, right? And when you meet refugees, these are people who have fled the worst of worst conditions, scary conditions. And so to deny them it's outrageous. And then you have more people who come into the United States, but they're happy to be here. They work hard. Refugees tend to work hard. It helps our cultures. I know in New York they were doing a refugee food festival. So all these countries that have been banned had like a huge food truck event, a food festival where everyone would come in and eat and talk to the different people from their countries and find out what is the refugee crisis like in your country. Is it religious? Are you being discriminated because you're a religious minority? Is it political belief? It allows us to grow as a country.
So why would you say more people want to immigrate to the United States than, for example, Brazil or Argentina?
Why do you think?
More opportunities?
What kind of opportunities?
Like job opportunities.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we've got the strongest economy in the world right now. A lot of our parents came here to work. I think there's twofold again why people want to come to the U.S. One, it's economic opportunity. You want to find better jobs, stronger jobs. A lot of people come here because our schools are the best, right? They come here to study. And then once they study, they see the economy is good here. They can get high-level jobs that may not exist in their countries. And then, similar to what we were talking about with refugees, a lot of people come here because it's safer in their countries. Sudan is one of the countries that's banned its citizens from traveling to the United States. Or our country has banned Sudanese citizens from traveling to the United States. Sudan has been in a civil war. It's a dangerous country. It's one of the most unsafe countries in the world. So people there are fleeing both for their lives and for economic opportunity. It's similar to why do people move to the Bay Area, right? More jobs, more schools, quality of life. Anyone else, why do you guys think people move to the U.S.?
Talk with somebody next to you, 30 seconds. Okay, so what do you think? You, Senor Ramezanzadeh, your 2 cents. Why do you think that is?
Someone right there. Good job, answer. Sure.
But adding on to like the idea of like the U.S. being sort of like ideal sort of thing, like my parents were both immigrants, and I know like when they were in India, like the things that they heard about America was it was kind of like a dreamland, sort of like a place of opportunity, and so it was kind of like their goal to come here, and I feel like they were kind of like a little bit like let down, sort of, kind of like reality check, sort of, especially with like this recent like election with like we kind of like it just kind of like shocks them like into like the idea that like it was so so directly contrary to like the idea of like what they've been told where they were, because it's like America is so far away and so different from the culture that they were raised in, and so I think it's kind of just really easy to kind of romanticize it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's similar to what you said. Who else? What else? Yeah.
It's kind of like grass is greener on the other side. Everything looks so good here, kind of similar to the other side. It's just, it seems so much better because there are some really good points and those points stand out. But at the same time, people aren't seeing any, like some of the issues that we're facing in our country. I mean, the election, just the election, people saw that. But everybody's seeing a lot of good points versus
Absolutely. Good comment. Yeah.
I feel like I do kind of have to play devil's advocate because
Love it.
as much as we're saying it's so easy for other people to romanticize our country, in just the last couple of answers that you gave, what I've been hearing, it's very easy for us as United States citizens, not even to just live in the Bay Area bubble, but to live in the US bubble, because when we hear about things like hate shootings and what happened at the Pulse nightclub and things that happened with all of our political climate currently, we see that as the worst of the worst and everything that's bad is happening. But then when you talk about other countries that are in civil wars, and when you talk about the fact that we are the strongest economy, but I know that we're in trillions of dollars of debt, it kind of brings everything into a whole new light, because though we have our own issues, they're still better than what's happening elsewhere.
Right. Right. And should we romanticize America? Do we already romanticize America? You know? Do people actually want to move to the US? Or is that something we've created? Yeah. Did you have a question or were you just scratching it?
Oh, no, I was gonna
Yeah.
add to the reason why people might want to move to the US. Because America is really good at branding, like we're really good at branding ourselves, and we were really good at tapping into our consumers, and especially since we